Last summer, my girlfriend and I decided to spice up our routine with a camping trip deep into the woods. We were both nature lovers, and the idea of spending a weekend away from the hustle and bustle of city life was really appealing. After some research, we picked a spot known for its beautiful scenery and relative solitude, yet it was safe enough for a couple of camping rookies. We arrived on a sunny afternoon, the light filtering beautifully through the canopy as we set up our tent beside a gently flowing stream. The sound of water and the rustle of leaves created a tranquil soundtrack to our efforts. After getting everything set up, we spent the rest of the day exploring the surrounding trails, immersing ourselves in the lush greenery and occasional wildlife sightings. As the evening approached, we returned to our campsite and started a small fire. The night was calm, and the crackling of the fire mixed with the chirps of crickets made for a perfect outdoor ambiance. We roasted marshmallows and shared stories, the stars beginning to pepper the sky above us. Eventually, tired from the day's activities, we extinguished the fire and retreated to our tent. Just as we were drifting off to sleep, a loud snap echoed outside, startling us both awake. It sounded like a large branch breaking. We held our breath, listening intently, but only silence followed. Just as we began to relax again, thinking it was probably just a deer passing by, a strange tapping began on the side of our tent. Tap, tap, tap. It was rhythmic and persistent. "Do you hear that?" my girlfriend whispered, her voice tense with anxiety. I nodded, unsure of what to make of it. Mustering courage, I grabbed my flashlight and slowly unzipped the tent. I poked my head out, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the darkness. The campsite was quiet, the bushes and trees still, yet the tapping continued. Then, as suddenly as it started, it stopped. But the stillness was short-lived. From the darkness, a low, mournful howl resonated through the trees, unsettling us further. We zipped up the tent, trying to convince each other that it was just the wind or an animal. But the peace of earlier in the evening was gone. Every small noise seemed amplified, every leaf rustle a potential threat. We lay awake, whispering about what it could be, jumping at the slightest sound. As the sky began to lighten with the first hints of dawn, the mysterious tapping returned, louder and more desperate this time. It was as if whatever was out there wanted to make sure we were aware of its presence. That was the last straw for us. We decided we couldn't stay a minute longer. We hastily dressed, grabbed only our essential belongings, and bolted from the tent. We ran through the dim morning light, the ground damp with dew, our hearts pounding in our chests. I could hear the thudding of our footsteps, and imagined I heard others echoing ours. We didn't stop until we reached our car, throwing our gear into the back seat haphazardly. As we drove away, the forest slowly waking around us, we exchanged looks of relief and disbelief. What had started as a peaceful escape turned into a night of frights that felt ripped from a horror film. We laughed nervously, adrenaline still coursing through our veins, and agreed it might be a while before we tried camping again, at least not in those woods.